Yes, what's up, yo? I'm looking forward to the Black Panther movie. I think this is going to be an important film for Marvel. I hope it does well. I mean, we're having a black superhero, black villains, primarily an all-black cast, kind of being put into the genre. Now, as a kid, I enjoyed Black Panther. I thought he was pretty cool. He was like Batman to me, you know. Loved the suit, loved the look of it, loved the name of it. Didn't realize when it started off, though, as a kid, that it was an homage to the Black Panthers. Fight the power kind of stuff. But whatever. This film, I think, is going to be really important because I think I want to see it do well because of the race issue of it. Because it will be curious to me to see if it's rejected out of hand by whites as a racist ideology. I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. I think we have changed a lot in America. I think our ways have changed. Minds are open. Hearts are open. I mean, we had Barack Obama for 8 years. I certainly hope that that's a good barometer of the racial openness that is in healing that has happened in our country. And I think Black Panther will be an important kind of barometer towards that. I'm so looking forward to it. I have Charlie from Emergency Awesome. He goes through the Black Panther preview and breakdown. I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to him. If you're not familiar with Emergency Awesome, go check him out. He's got great stuff on superheroes and comics and whatnot. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you will. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. We're getting so close to passing Bally Fools, and I thank everybody for their support. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Hey everybody, Comic-Con's almost here. Marvel just dropped a new preview for Black Panther. Let's break it down. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get everything, and make sure you turn alerts on because Comic-Con is next week. There's going to be a crazy amount of footage dropping. So let's just start with the big stuff first. They explained a little bit about bridging the gap, then I'll get into all the stuff that they showed off. So Chadwick Boseman says, this takes place shortly after Captain America Civil War has ended, so he's still in mourning. There's a guilt in terms of taking the throne. There's a feeling that he wishes his father would have been alive to see it if he would have given up the throne for being too old. That's the ideal way. His mindset is one of guilt and unsureness because he doesn't have his father there. Generally, there is unrest because there's no leader on the throne. We're dealing with a similar thing right now in this country. Not everybody agrees with what he's going to do. What do you do first? What do you choose to do that's going to get everybody on your side? It's a political drama, essentially. But then separately, the director called it sort of a cross between James Bond and The Godfather, which just sounds like the best movie ever. Marvel's The Godfather. But you get the idea. Black Panther hasn't taken the throne yet, so that explains a little bit of the drama during the trailer that we've seen so far, where you see him facing off with Killmonger. They say that this version of the character, a little bit different from the comics, represents a different side of Wakanda. So remember during Civil War, before T'Chaka was blown up in the explosion, he said that Wakanda is trying to embrace a new way that's much more open, be less isolationist. So during the movie, it just sounds like Killmonger is one of the representatives of the side of Wakanda that wants to be more traditional, the traditional versus the new. Like that was part of his whole arc during the film. He was seeking vengeance for the death of his father, but at the end chose not to kill Zemo because that would have been the old way of dealing with things. So Killmonger is the old, Black Panther is the new. Obviously, you know Black Panther's going to win by the end of the movie. It's just a question of what trials the prince is going to face before he is crowned king. So let's just go through this footage here. There's a couple important things that stand out, including two different versions of the Black Panther costume. So this version right here that we saw at the beginning of the trailer is the Civil War version of the costume. It looks like it's more heavily armored, it's got more plating. The necklace, the highlights are all silver colored. You have to remember though that it's all vibranium. There's vibranium weave, then straight up vibranium around him. We haven't seen the inside of his helmet yet. We don't know if he has a heads-up display. Most of you probably know that his natural abilities come from continued exposure to the heart-shaped herb, which is grown in vibranium-tainted soil. So it's vibranium mixing with natural plant life. Then he consumes that. That gives him his abilities. but it's something that you're exposed to over a long period of time. And the way Kevin Feige explained it is that it's taken thousands of years. So the vibranium meteorite that crashed into Wakanda, that they refer to as the Sacred Mound, has been there for thousands of years. So it'll be interesting to see if Thanos addresses that during Infinity War. But even without any extra tech, he's a badass. Like, Spider-Man is a badass, even without the Stark Tech suit. But Black Panther's just a level above that because he's had a lot more time with his abilities. He's a much better trained fighter. And the technology that they have in Wakanda is much greater than you find anywhere else. So I'll be interested to see if he has a heads-up display inside his cowl. But he does in the comics. That doesn't mean that they'll do that in the movie, though. But here's Everett Ross that looks like he's entering Wakanda for the first time, talking to Shuri, her mother, Ramonda, played by Angela Bassett, and obviously Nakia, who's one of the Dora Milaje. Another awesome shot of the Dora Milaje. You see, most of them are naturally bald. There are a couple other pictures of them in the casino with really big hairdos, so it seems like some of them wear wigs at times. Denai Guerrera, of course, looking fantastic, is one of the more badass Dora Milaje. There is a hierarchy within their group. This seems like Black Panther has foiled Claw's escape attempt. Killmonger tries to bust that wall out so that he can escape, so this looks like it all happens right after that. Zoom, enhance, give him the stare. They face off a lot during this movie. This might be happening relatively early on because there's the Warrior Falls sequence where we get a much better look at Killmonger, and he looks freaky. Like, look at his chest here. What is going on with this? A lot of people are wondering if this is like a Victor Zsasz thing where he marks himself every time he kills someone and it's some freaky scars from that, or there's some cultural aspect to it and he's been marked for something that happened in the past that he's still really bitter about. In the comics, his father was forced to work for Ulysses Klaue. His attempt to take over Wakanda was foiled, so it brought great shame to Killmonger's family. His father was killed in the attempt, so he vowed revenge against Black Panther's family. But it sounds like what's going on here is that he's just representative of the other half of Wakanda that is upset that Black Panther hasn't officially taken control of the kingdom and feels like he's a weak king. Like, you're going to be a weak leader. We need to put someone strong on the throne that has traditional values, and Killmonger is just the candidate that they're backing. And they did explain that this really mysterious-looking green person here is just the leader of the most powerful tribe in Wakanda. So he's the leader of the opposition, these people that want to go back to the old ways. But the cool thing about Warrior Falls is they feature prominently in the trailer. You see him a couple different times. It's where you perform a lot of the ceremonies. It's where he's fought Killmonger in the past. It's one of their most sacred places. And as you can imagine, the title, Warrior Falls, it's where you prove your worth as a warrior and as a king. So it kind of seems like that's what's going on here. Like, Killmonger issues a challenge to Black Panther and he has to answer. The really cool thing about a lot of these fights, though, is that you realize what crazy technology they have. Like, you see it during the film. Even Killmonger wears a lot of technology, but the fights that they have here are old school, so they do it just like their ancestors would. No special technology, just a lot of knives and a lot of fists. These pictures really don't do the film justice. Some of the costumes are crazy. This here looks like that 007 aspect of the film they were talking about in the casino. With Ulysses Klaue, this might happen before they take him into custody. You see Black Panther with Denai Guerrera and Lupita. It looks like they're wearing wigs because they're bald naturally. Much better shot of Shuri and Nakia. I totally love their costumes. Black Panther's going to have some of the most beautiful set design, as well as just the way they use color. It's crazy. That is Spider-Man red right there. I wonder if Midtown High has an exchange program. Maybe Peter could go abroad, or maybe they could borrow Shuri for the third Spider-Man film. But the cool thing about Shuri is that she's sort of like the Peter Parker of Wakanda, the science geek that experiments with a lot of their technology. She's also the baby of the family. They didn't say how much younger she is. She's much older than Peter Parker, but she's still very young compared to Black Panther. And if you don't read the comics, she's his stepsister. So the king obviously has multiple wives when one passes away. Black Panther's mother, who might be played by Felicia Rashad, is dead when this movie picks up. T'Chaka remarried a long time ago to Ramonda. She gave birth to Shuri. So even though she eventually becomes Black Panther in the comics, she's not Black Panther's straight-up sister, she's his stepsister. But here's the look at the better Black Panther costume. It looks a little more modular, more lightweight, but we know it does have crazy EMP abilities because we see it during that action set piece in the trailer. So either it's an Iron Man thing where he has different suits that serve different purposes, like one for making war, like during Civil War, and another lightweight one that's meant for more espionage and more covert activities. But Forrest Whitaker, who you probably spotted in the trailer even if you didn't recognize him the first time you saw him, is something of a spiritual guide during the film. he was actually good friends with T'Challa's father, and now he's sort of guiding him in his journey to become king. But if we ever get to see the Djalia during the film, if Black Panther ever has any visions of his father or gets to speak to him outright, it's probably going to be through his character. This is a much better shot of that costume. Zoom, enhance, zoom, enhance. It looks much more badass in this picture here than it does during the trailer. This person here is just his chief of security, and actually when you look over at Shuri again, this is really cool. Look at her hands here. You see them a little bit during the trailer, but they're easier to make out here when they're super high res. They're actually made to look like panther mouths. So she's like Edward Scissorhands, only with panthers, but they give off pulses. They probably do some other really cool stuff too. And the way her costume stops at her neck right here makes me wonder if it'll form the rest of the helmet around her head Iron Man style. Because as the resident tech geek, that just seems like something that she would have created. But what's going to happen is during Comic-Con, Marvel has that 2-hour panel. They're going to be promoting mostly Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok, but they're also doing a 10-year celebration of their 10-year anniversary at Comic-Con because 2007 was when they first brought that Iron Man film to show off before they premiered in 2008. So there's going to be a bunch of Infinity War. There's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff. They'll probably put on a show and show off a bunch of footage. Whatever drops online, I will totally do a video for. But the only trailers that I'm expecting them to actually post will be Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok. So just leave all your requests in the comments. There'll be giveaways going on all week. So I'll remind everybody what the video schedule is going to be in the next couple of days. It's going to be great. But while you wait for everything, you can click here to rewatch the Black Panther trailer, and you can click here for brand new Flash Season 4. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.